It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. GR Manera from DPS is in studio, but he is no longer a sergeant. He is a captain.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
So far, so good.
Yeah? Tell us about the captain job. I know you've only been in it for a little bit now.
Yeah, it's been about a week and a half now. I left narcotics, got promoted, and got to stay in place. I'm now the district commander of the Highway Patrol for Yavapai County. I have 2 squads in the Verde, 1 squad in Cordes Junction, the Prescott squad, and then the Seligman squad.
Wow.
All highway patrols. So.
How many people does that consist of?
It's about 40 officers out on the road.
Okay, and they all respond to you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So for a week and a half, what do you think?
So far, so good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a nice change. I worked narcotics for 21 years, so it's a nice break, and put the uniform on for the first time in 21 years. It's amazing, though, that it shrunk.
You know, when Candace told me that you were up front, I looked at Kyle and I said, okay, uniform or his usual kind of narcotics outfit? Kyle picked narcotics outfit. I said, I bet he's in a uniform, because, I mean, we've had Captain Danny Golden in here.
Right.
And then Captain Eric Anspach was only here once.
Right.
Last year, right around this time as well. So, and Danny Golden actually was in here for a couple of years. But those guys were out of the Phoenix area.
Yes.
And they were commuting up to the office in Prescott.
That's right. Almost
daily, and then, of course, you know, you start getting to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, this is such a drive. And when I heard that you got the captain job, you live. You're local.
Yes. Yeah, those guys, I mean, they were from Phoenix. Their families were in Phoenix. Their lives were in Phoenix. And they took this job up here to help the agency. We were shorthanded for a long time and didn't have promotions for a while. So they took the reins up here. They did a great job, and then they had opportunities to go back to their home, and they took those opportunities, and it worked out for me that I got promoted in place. So
was it the recession that was kind of holding things back?
It was.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have actually a hiring freeze, but, you know, with the state budget and everything, in turmoil for several years, I don't think we hired for 4 years. So, but now we're in a cycle where things are improving, and we're hiring officers, and we're getting more patrolmen out on the streets.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing it across the board, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of are. Okay, so you're no longer sergeant in charge of narcotics.
That's correct.
You were in charge of narcotics.
Right.
Okay. So who took your position?
Right now it's going to be Sergeant John Seeley. He was the patrol sergeant in Prescott.
Okay.
His experience is he was a Prescott Valley officer is where he started. He worked in Pant for a couple of years while he was with Prescott Valley. He lateraled over to DPS. He's worked highway patrol several years. He was a motor. He was in our training academy as a sergeant, but he was also on the narcotics squad. He worked for me for a couple of years before he got promoted. He and I were partners back in the 90s working narcotics, so he brings a lot of experience. He's excited about that. He's been in highway patrol for a long time, so he's looking for a new challenge, and narcotics is going to be that for him.
Awesome, awesome. So is it difficult to become a captain?
Yeah,
well, there's a lot of changes to it. I mean, from being out on the street all the time,
right,
and busting, dope runners and dealers and users, you're in an office now. I am in an office now. Change of pace.
I have a big learning curve. Like I said, I've been working criminal investigations, narcotics for the last 21 years. I joke my daughter's never seen me in uniform. She's 18 years old.
I've never have either.
So, it's a big learning experience. Highway patrol's changed in the last 21 years, and I'm just trying to learn and keep up. And, they didn't have computers in cars when I worked highway patrol last time, so trying to learn all that stuff. And, the supervision and stuff, I've been doing that for 9 years in narcotics, so I'm okay with that. But there's a big learning curve with highway patrol, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's a nice break. I enjoy. I've got great people working for me, so it should be a good time.
How many years you got left?
kind of depends.
Depends on what you want to do?
Yeah, it depends when my wife gets fed up with my job, how many days I have left. But no,
Gotcha.
I'm looking at staying at least another 6 years. So.
Oh, I love it. I love the fact that you're local. That's what I love the best, is that you are a local guy now who is the captain of the DPS department that I call every day.
Right.
And I just love the fact because we have such a good working relationship with each other. You and Veronica and Deanna and Kitty up there are just, everybody's just great. Always been very, very helpful. Really extremely helpful with the news department here. Let's move on.
Sure.
Again, congratulations,
Thank
Captain G.R. Manera. Let's talk a little bit about summer driving. It's getting to be that time of the year where, you know, obviously the temperatures, we're in the 70s in Flagstaff now. We're in the 80s in the Prescott area. We're in the low 90s today, starting today in the Verde Valley, and as well tomorrow. And I guess by Sunday, things will start cooling back down again because we've got something Monday and Tuesday. But nevertheless, you know, we've been so used to the winter driving, the cool weather outside.
Right.
Cars are probably like, oh, it's such a break. But the summer heat is coming. It's going to be here. And so there's probably some things we should be keeping track of in the summer months.
Right.
What are some of those things you could think of that we need to keep track of?
You know, one of the most important things is before you even take a trip, plan ahead. Make sure your car's in good working order. Take it to a mechanic, have the fluids checked, make sure the tires have the proper pressure, they have good tire tread, they're not cracking. You know, that's a good place to start because that's, you know, if you have mechanical failure, it's usually because, you know, something's been not taken care of or lax. I mean, things wear out, but as long as you at least have that as a basis before you start heading out on the road, it makes everything a little bit easier.
Yeah, get the belts checked, the hoses checked. You mentioned tires.
Tires.
Tire pressure. Windshield washer fluid.
Yep.
Oh, coolant.
Coolant, absolutely.
Coolant.
Yeah, the two things that major happen with vehicles that we see out on the interstates, when it's real hot, if the tires are worn, you know, that heat gets to those tires. We have tread separation, which can cause, you know, rollover accidents, and then vehicles overheating. You know, we live in the mountains up here. People from Phoenix, they don't think of that stuff because it's all flat down there, but they get climbing these mountains. It's a lot of stress on those vehicles.
Right.
You know, make sure everything's in good working order.
Yeah, when I drive by, people broke down and think, oh, I'm glad that's not me sitting there right now, especially during the summer months because it's just brutal out there in the summer.
It is.
I don't know how you guys wear those uniforms in the summer months either and have to be standing out there dealing with that sort of stuff. So last year when Eric was here, he brought up a really good point that I hadn't even thought about or taken into consideration. I have a brand new vehicle, but it has a spare tire.
Right.
My wife has one, it has a spare tire.
Right.
But he brought up the fact that some cars now, and even sometimes rental cars, don't have a spare.
That's correct.
That's odd.
Yeah, you know, my daughter has a new vehicle, and we went to the hatchback area to look for the spare, and there's not a spare back there. There's a flat tire repair kit. It has a little air compressor and some patches and plugs, and you know.
Fix it yourself. Right there
fix it yourself.
Go.
So we actually ordered her a spare tire. There's still a room for it, and a lot of the car manufacturers do it for weight. You know, they're trying to make vehicles lighter and get better fuel economy, but it's important to have a spare tire. It's important to have that, you know, access. If you have one on the side of the road, it's kind of hard to fix a flat on the side of the road if you don't know what you're doing or if you've never done it before.
That's interesting. They don't put a spare in to keep the car lighter.
Right.
I would rather have the spare and have the car weigh an extra, what, 10 pounds?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's very important that you have that and have it available. At least the old donut tires where you can at least get to the next town and get it repaired or get a new tire.
Take you 40, 50 miles down the road.
Yep.
Apparently sometimes longer than that because I've seen those going down the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
Not a wise thing to do. We got to take our first break, okay? DPS Captain G.R. Manera in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix the beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Countywide. DPS Captain G.R. Manera almost said Sergeant. DPS Captain G.R. Manera, after all these years of saying Sergeant, it almost slipped out there.
That's okay. I mess up on the radio every time I check off.
Do you?
So I don't know who I am anymore.
It's Captain. It's Captain. Okay, so we're talking about summertime driving. Okay, get your car checked out. Go take it in for a tune-up. Get those tires checked and all that good stuff. We were talking about spare tires.
Right.
You mentioned your daughter's got a brand new car, and instead of a spare tire back there, it's got space for it. Instead, it's here, fix it yourself, and then on down the road you go. Last year when Eric Anspatch was in here, he was talking about rental cars. A lot of times rental cars don't have spares, so you should probably check that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, just like any other trip, you know, you assume that a rental car company will take care of everything. They get busy. A lot of summer traffic. People are in and out. They pretty much wash them, fill them up with gas, and get them back out on the road. So it's real important that you check. Walk around, look at the car, look at the spare tire, fire it up, make sure it runs well. I just kind of told you a story off camera. We had a rental car where we got in it, fired it up, and started taking off the lot, and it was making just a hellacious sound. And I said, I'm not driving this thing. Give me a new car. So
you're not sticking me on the side of the road.
Exactly.
So yeah, check the rental cars. Make sure they got spare tires in them, and make sure the jack is there too.
Right.
Everything you need to be able to change your tires. So make sure that stuff's there. Now I have a list, a lovely list of things from AARP. For things you should have in your vehicle during the summer and winter months. And it's pretty much the same things you'd have each time. There's a couple extras in here.
Right.
But there's a charged cell phone, which is number one, and have a charger in your vehicle as well.
Absolutely.
First aid kit's always handy. Fire extinguisher. How many times have we heard about a vehicle on the side of the road that's got a fire in the engine compartment?
Absolutely. We've had 2, well, commercial vehicles, but we've had 2 vehicle fires in the last 2 weeks. So.
Okay. Right on the side of the road, which is a dangerous spot right now this time of year, wildfires and stuff. It says 3 reflective warning triangles, but I don't know. That one, I think, maybe not. I've got my
It's important,
lights.
you know, you never know where you're going to break down. If you're on a curve, it's nice to let people know ahead of time. If you can put those out, at least people will see them and go, well, at least something's occurring up above or in front of them, and they can move over and get out of the way.
That's a really good point. The curves, you never know.
Right.
Yeah, the curves. My dad used to always tell me when I was learning how to drive is on those curves, make sure you slow down a little bit because you never know what's going to be up around there. And I've been caught off guard a few times with that. Tire gauge, of course, for your pressure. Foam tire sealant, which apparently your daughter has in her car, so she can fix her own tire.
Oh, yeah, we should own stock and fix a flat because we have that in all our vehicles.
Jumper cables, flashlight, extra batteries in case you break down at night and you got to change that tire at night or anything else you got to do at night. Gloves, so you're not getting all gummed up with the muck and stuff off the tires. Rags, so you can wipe things down. Duct tape.
Duct tape can fix.
Surprised we all don't have like a duct tape holster.
Yep.
Well, maybe you'll have one someday. You guys seem to
I don't know if I have any more room on this belt.
Oh, we'll find room. Don't you worry, GR. We'll find room. Tow strap or tow rope. That's a good one.
Yep.
Because you guys, if I'm stuck, and this is probably more for the winter months, but not necessarily. I mean, I could see you getting monsoon season muddy on the side of the road. You get stuck. You guys will actually pull over and help pull us out or push us out.
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing what you guys will do.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've got some newer vehicles. You've probably seen the newer SUV type vehicles that we have out on the road. They're all-wheel drive, so they have a little more traction for the snow and a little better handling out there in the summer months, and they have a little more oomph to pull people out if they do get stuck. So
that's nice. Then you don't have to get a tow truck. You just wait for you guys to come along, and boom, you're back on the road again. Multi-purpose utility tool, that would be a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that being good. Rain poncho, of course, that's self-explanatory, especially monsoon, man. It'd be horrible to be on the side of the road changing a tire.
Yes.
And just have one of those monsoon downwashes come and hit you. Drinking water, that's a good one.
That's important all year round. Have something in your vehicle. If you do break down, especially the summer months out here in the Verde Valley, it gets 100, 110 degrees out there or more on the side of the road. You know, our officers are going to get there as fast as they can, but you know, you need to stay hydrated, and that's a major health issue. So.
Exactly, yeah. And who knows? You know, weekends you can watch the Twitter feed from ADOT, and it'll talk about I-17 Black Canyon City. It seems like Black Canyon City Sunset Point area seems to be a real danger zone,
right? In
terms of people breaking down or having any accidents and crashes. The next thing you know, you're stuck on the side of the road for it. You know, how long it takes.
Right. There's no alternative route there. That's the problem. We had that vehicle fire the other night just at the bottom of the hill in Black Canyon City. It shut that road down for 4+ hours. Luckily, it was late at night, so there wasn't as much traffic. But you think of that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of July, you better have some things to take care of yourself and keep your vehicle cool and you safe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then that brings up some non-perishable snacks. Keep those in the vehicle.
Always a good idea.
A warm blanket. These are things you probably have in your car right now, or should have in your car right now, because the winter months have come over. There's just a few things. There's warm blanket, snow shovel, cat litter for when you get stuck in the snow, and then windshield ice scraper. So you could really just keep all those things in the kit in your vehicle.
Yep. And if you don't have, like you're talking about the multi-tool, at least throw some tools in there, a wrench, some pliers, you know, just so you can at least make some quick repairs and get you down the road.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Very good. Wrong way drivers.
Yes.
We've had a lot of that lately. It seems like it's almost epidemic.
It
almost.
does.
Last year we had a bunch of fatals, and it wasn't even something that was spanned out over the whole year. I mean, it was like taking place in 1 month.
Yeah.
Multiple ones.
It's been really bad statewide. In fact, we had one this morning. On my way over here, our officers were responding to a wrong way driver going southbound in the northbound lanes of I-17. They made it all the way up Copper Canyon. 7 miles before we could get them stopped. I mean, thank goodness nobody got hurt, because all those curves, there's some blind curves, you know, a lot of semis, there's construction going on up there. So be aware. I mean, drivers need to be aware of their surroundings anyway, but wrong way drivers, we've had off-duty officer killed down in the valley. There's been several...
Dispatcher.
There's been several major injury collisions down in the valley, but it's happening statewide. We're seeing them on 40, on 10, on 17. I don't know what is causing it.
I was going to say, what is going on all of a sudden?
I don't know. I mean, the most common things are impaired drivers, which we always have to be on the lookout for.
Sure.
A lot of elderly drivers, confused, you know. It's just real important as you're driving out there, you pay attention to the signage. You know, they're all posted wrong way, do not enter, but people drive by those things. I don't know if they panic and they don't know what to do. But it's almost an epidemic with wrong way drivers.
Even the reflectors now on the middle of the road, those little reflectors that are buried into the pavement, I notice as you go past them and head in the right direction, when you look in your rearview mirror, your side mirror, you can see there's red reflective on the other side.
Right.
It's also another way.
Yep.
That's supposed to tell people they're going the wrong way, but we still have it happening. Do we know what was going on this morning?
They're still out there investigating, investigating if there was an impairment or a medical issue.
Okay.
As I was arriving here, they had medical personnel arriving on scene. So, but it's a huge problem statewide. It has been for about the last year and a half, 2 years. There's been some, talk about putting like the spike strips up. So if you try to go down the wrong way, but that would cost the state millions of dollars to do that statewide. I don't know what the solution is. I know ADOT and DPS, they're all working in partnership to try to figure out something. But they've added signage. They're trying to post it earlier. But it just continues to happen. And I don't know if anybody can explain it right now.
Just got to watch out there. Yeah. All right. We're going to take our second break. DPS Captain G.R. Manera in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. Well, they were out doing their thing. We slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got a couple minutes left in the program. Captain G.R. Manera from DPS in studio today. Seatbelts. We've had a bad fatal up on around Munns Park. Two teenage gals, 18, 19.
Yes.
Swerved off the road, rolled, both were ejected, both killed.
Right.
Odds are seatbelts were not in use.
Yeah, I don't know the details of that, but you know, when you see ejections from the vehicle, that's the first thing we think of is seatbelts are not in use.
So put your seatbelt on.
Always put your seatbelt on.
Slow down. This is the time of the year I tend to do a story. I don't even know if I really talked to many agencies about it, but it just seems like we see an increase of accidents like that, where people are just, it's like winter's over, I'm back outside, I get to go do something.
Yep.
And they're going too fast.
They think the roads are nice and dry and pick up the speeds a little more. We're already at high speeds on the interstates. You're 75 miles an hour for the most part. People always jack that up to 80, 85 miles an hour, the flow of traffic, you know, kind of thing. But those are high rates of speed, and everything is multiplied if you wreck. You know, the rollovers are more severe, you know, collisions with other vehicles are more severe. You're talking about, you know, thousands of pounds of vehicles traveling at high rates of speed. That doesn't end well.
Gosh, yeah. How could it possibly, huh?
Yeah.
And then I didn't talk to Gary Phelps with DPS up in the Flagstaff area, but I noticed that there's an increased number of dead elk on the side of the road. Dead elk,
dead deer. This time of year, like you said, they might be transitioning from their winter range to their summer range. The grass, you know, always good around the median, always good on the side of the roads, and they're looking for feed, they're looking for water, if there's water sources. We had 2 car deer accidents in the last couple of days in our district. I know going up to Flagstaff a week or so ago, there was several dead elk on the side of the road. So just be real cognizant of that. And they go in herds. You know, just because you see 1 or 2 go by, always look to the other side, because there might be more.
4, 5, 10 more.
Might be more following. So
early morning as the sun comes up, as the sun goes down, and then we've got a big moon right now, so I think they move around a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of these animals, they'll feed at night, and they're very nocturnal, so, you know, that's a good, you know, look for the eyes, look for movement out of the corner of your eyes, peripheral vision, and just keep very aware of your surroundings while you're driving.
Be safe. Let's make it through the summer.
Absolutely.
Captain G.R. Manera, congrats again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in and helping me out today. That's today's Countywide. I'm Paul David. We'll talk to you again next time.